Perry now.
Fine. Yeah.
Everything's
Yeah.
fine.
Almost...
By the way,
Yeah.
please save me and Brittany and the rest of us. Oh, hello.
Aw.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but yeah, you have to. This one, of course, is just literally just a couple of sentences of a story. But there are certain pictures that you can put of Katy Perry next to pictures of JonBenet Ramsey, and the years add up, and she does look very similar. It's definitely a weird one. Maybe this is a up and comer. I don't know, or maybe it's a totally ridiculous file. I don't know where to file this one. What do you think, Jude?
I think I'd have to see those. Oh, I was gonna say, like, I haven't seen like the overlays of her family and her and stuff. So
they've kind of based it off just like they took this one picture of Katy Perry and it kind of
Ridiculous.
It's great. It's one of the fun ones.
Okay, cool.
It's kind of replaced, so I don't know. And yes, check out the Katy Perry, JonBenet one. But the final celebrity death conspiracy for this evening is the theory, and this one's kind of close to the heart for a lot of us, that Nirvana frontman Kurt Cobain did not take his own life in 1994, but was killed by a hitman hired by his wife, Courtney Love.
Yeah.
Now, this comes from the 1998 documentary Kurt and Courtney, directed by Nick Broomfield. The claim that Courtney Love was trying to hire someone to kill Kurt Cobain. This theory comes from a man named El Duce, the lead singer of the punk band The Mentors. Rob, are you familiar with The Mentors?
I am not familiar with The Mentors. I'm sorry.
All right, well, let's play a little bit on Mentors, kind of like give you a little taste of what they're all about. All right, yes, it's of course, the classic "Constantly Jacking" from the Mentors. But Mentor singer, this guy El Duce, who I've actually met before, but that's maybe a story for another time.
It sounds like it's a story for now, but
what a humble brag!
Right?
Look, I'm not gonna
there and leave everybody.
Look, I'm going to talk about El Duce and not. All right, I'll give the little story. It's very brief. The Mentors were playing in New Orleans. This was very, very close to when these events happened. Just a few months before, it must have been their last tour, and they were playing at a very small club. And I walked up to the club with my girlfriend at the time, and El Duce was standing in front of the club door, but just staring at me as if he knew me and like waiting to greet me with his hand out and shook my hand. It was very strange. Never met him before. Sat and talked to him for a minute, and that was it. And then we watched the show, and it was completely insane. Our friend got his hands completely ripped up by a broken 40 bottle.
Torn off.
Almost. Before they played, they made sure to break a bunch of 40 and liquor bottles in front of the stage, and of course people are pitting, and my friend's hand lands on glass, rips his hand open, so I miss half the show. But that's my El Duce story. So this guy El Duce, the singer for that band, The Mentors, constantly jacking. He had been interviewed.
Sounds like that you're just describing that's one of his attributes. Like this dude is just constantly.
It really actually is.
He never stops jacking off.
This is GG Allen level scum rock. The Mentors. Nice. They might actually be worse in some elements, but El Duce, he had been interviewed by a few tabloid magazines and claimed that Courtney had arranged the death of Kurt Cobain. So here now is the documentary team from Kurt and Courtney approaching the house of El Duce, who we're going to meet here.
This is him, El Duce. This is the... Tell you, where's the booze? Sure the dog won't get out and attack us here? This is dog, angry dog. A perverted. He's just a perverted...
Yep, a warp... intoxicated most of the time.
All right away, he's coming up as be described as a pervert and constantly drunk. He does not seem like the most reliable witness, but you gotta lay that out there. But they do cut right to the chase with him, as we'll hear here. Hear.
Did some deal with Courtney, right? Yeah. She offered me $50,000 to whack Kurt Cobain.
Yeah, I was telling you this.
She what? $50,000 to whack Kurt Cobain. And that's a fact, is it? But people might think you're not the most reliable witness. Well, that's too bad. You may not be the reliable witness your own self.
Burn.
Now think about that one.
Yeah.
You know, when she offered me money, God dang, I wish I would have taken it, man. But I know who whacked him.
He does not. He does not sound like he's messing around. It is really chilling.
No.
When I saw this initially,
drunk, but he knows. He sounds like he definitely has thought this through before.
he does sound legitimately sad that he did not actually take that money. So there is more from this El Duce interview. We'll talk about it after this. Let's hear the end of El Duce.
How were you going to whack him? Did she tell you how to do it?
Yeah, blow his fucking head off.
So where were you going to find him to do it?
Well, up there, and she gave, mapped it out. I mean, up there in Bellevue, wherever they live, right outside Seattle. I know right where the house is. I know right what garden to pop him in. I just didn't think she was serious.
But did she tell you how she wanted you to pop him?
Yeah, she says, blow his fucking head off. I got the shotgun.
But she didn't say anything about
Make it
making
look like a suicide. I told Alan, my friend, who... I'll let the FBI catch him. But that's just the way it's done. End of story. Hey, 50 grand does a lot of talking. You buy me a beer, I might do some more talking.
And they don't go and buy him that beer. They just leave. He seemed to be.
That's enough.
They didn't want to find out what that other beer bought them?
Right. You got all
more
that.
talking, but maybe not useful talking. It'd just be talking. Just rambling.
You got all that for nothing. He heard in that. He mentioned someone named Alan, and then he stops himself and he says, "Oh, I'll let the FBI figure that one out." He's basically naming what he thinks is the killer. I think he knows what happened. I believe El Duce. I don't know why. Maybe he's gaining a couple $100, a couple of junk fixes. I don't know what he's getting from this, but.
So wait, you really believe this jerking off song guy, the guy who sings the song about jerking off all day? You really think that you're going to listen to what he has to say?
Look,
hey, that's what I do.
Yeah, that's true. And we do listen to what you does.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What do you think,
this
what do you
guy
think CJ stands for?
CJ? I don't
Constantly
know.
jagging.
Oh yeah, of course.
Sorry.
That makes perfect sense.
Catch up.
I'll tell you why. That makes a very honest person, if you ask me.
He just sounds like every old drunk guy at the bar who just doesn't have any hasn't done shit with their life, and they're just old, and so he's just talking out of his ass is what it sounds like. And
you know what? It's like those are the kinds of people that are trusted with secrets because they're like, no one's going to believe this fuck.
No one's going to believe him.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
He's just but I think a lot of that very, very shaky trust I might have with El Duce of the Mentors, it comes from another video where he does go a little more in depth. But unfortunately for the podcasting community, the audio in this video, it is completely atrocious, completely unusable at all.
Oh, I thought we were going to get to hear it. Yay.
It's camcorder quality. It is a guy that is asking El Duce questions at a party.
Is it?
I had a shitty phone camera.
This is a guy holding a camcorder, but at like a gutter punk party where these guys are screaming louder than El Duce right off camera. And so it's the guys, he's asking him questions at this party, and the other people there, they are so loud, it's hard to hear what he's saying. But in the video, he explains his connection to Courtney Love. He claims that his roommate was the one that was selling heroin to Courtney on a regular basis, and that one of the members of Courtney Love's band was dating Sicky Wife Beater. What, you guys don't know Sicky Wife Beater?
That's a person.
The guitar player.
I can't say that I do.
The guitar player for the Mentors, crack a book much? Don't suppose you do. Well, unfortunately, on April 19th, 1997, one day after his final performance and 2 days after filming his interview for Courtney documentary, El Duce was found dead on the railroad tracks in Riverside, California. He was decapitated in the accident. He was hit full on by a freight train going 60 miles an hour.
Holy
subsequent tests indicated a high blood alcohol content, which I don't think El Duce ever didn't have one. And thus, Eldon Hokie, a.k.a. El Duce, his official cause of death was given by the coroner's office as misadventure. So,
you know what he needed to do? He needed
Use your head, brother.
no, he did in the wrong kind of sense here, Rob.
Ooh.
So 2 days after he did that thing that we just listened to where he's talking to this director saying he did this, 2 days after he is killed by a misadventure.
And I'm saying, is that a head?
All right, and it goes on. Al Jurgensen of course, the band Ministry, Al wrote in his autobiography that El Duce was killed by the train when some fans on the other side of the railroad tracks called his name, and as he attempted to cross to meet them, his foot became stuck in the track. Oof. However, that's a nightmare. Oh. However, even for El Duce, that is a terrible way to die. That However, due to the timing of his death, conspiracy theorists and us have speculated that his death was related to the statements he made for the Kurt and Courtney documentary. Now, that is some convenient timing. You can imagine some drunk guy who's like, yeah, let's just stick his head on this railroad track and like, that's it. And we're done.
So weird. Like, why would they even think that?
No, there we go. See, it works already. So what do you guys think about El Duce and the mystery of the death of Kurt Cobain?
I think that, like I said, it's one of those instances where he was probably witness to it or overheard enough of it, and they just figured, no one's going to believe this old fuck. Or he wasn't old at the time, but I mean, I've always kind of believed that Courtney was behind Kurt's death. So
yeah. I take it as she didn't think he would talk on it. And
right.
He even mentions in that weird video, and maybe we'll post a link to this video of this other El Duce interview. It's very hard to hear. He even thought that Courtney and her friends were a little too skanky for him. And this is El Duce we're talking about. The guy is constantly jacking.
Doesn't that name mean like shower or like a douche?
I think he's named after the Italian leader from the Axis of Evil, World War II. I think it's a Mussolini reference, if anything, right, Jude?
He's not named after a douchebag. Is pretty much what
he's not.
It should be.
I
thought it sounds like more like a shower, but
he's not. Maybe.
Well, yeah, I think he's more like the Kiss. He's a deuce.
Maybe.
Oh.
Sicky wife beater is a saint, though. But there's one final note.
Beater. Wait, hold on. Sicky wife beater.
Yeah,
quiet.
Earlier.
Great name.
According to the self-published book, Truth is Funnier Than Fiction by Mentor's bass player Steve Broy, the whole story was concocted by Mentor's associate Reverend Bud Green in order to sell supermarket tabloids. Now, I don't get that because even in that thing, El Duce says he got like $200 or $300 for them things. He's not making big money off of doing this. That's why he is kicking himself. They didn't take that $50,000 from Courtney when he had the chance because he's such a scumbag. He would have just blown Kurt Cobain away if he thought she was serious. And I believe that.
Or if he at least did one of those things where it's like, pay me half now, half up front, half after the job is done. He could have at least made off with $25,000 and then not killed Kurt Cobain and then just, ran off.
And he's in their weird heroin circle. His roommates with Courtney's heroin dealer. Remember the band is dating Sicky, and he's very like intertwined with them at the time. But I don't think he gave two F's about Kurt.
Does this guy like have past bounty hunter experience or something? Like, why would she pick him?
Like it.
Why was she just like out of nowhere? Can you kill my Wouldn't she?
Again, he's probably just looks like trash. Like,
he's for $50,000.
Boba Fett.
For $50,000, you could hire a real hitman, like someone who does that professionally.
Yeah, but do you think that Courtney Love is that smart and not messed up on drugs enough to make that kind of decision?
That's the other thing. Think about what connections Courtney Love has in the 90s.
Kind of dumb.
Well, yeah, all she knows is these crazy, junky, freaking scum rock dealers that she's hanging out with. And she's like, these dudes will do anything for a nickel. Of course I can get them. $50,000 is nothing to her at the time. I don't know. So that's it. We are going to wrap this very weird and different episode of Celebrity Death Conspiracies. Hey, you asked for conspiracies. Careful what you wish for. But I'm going to implore you now. Go and answer this week's poll. And this week's poll is going to be, what celebrity death conspiracy do you believe? Do you believe Elvis lives? Do you believe Paul is dead? Do you believe Avril got replaced? Do you believe Courtney or El Duce tried to kill Kurt or others? So go to unbelieverspodcastnight.com and let us know. Now let's get out of here with this.
Just as a clue, he was 12 years old. Fell from the roof on East 29. Kathy was 11 when she and a bottle of wine. Bobby got leukemia.